Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Data Cloud series, which is organized by Value Hub. Today, we'll have to talk about our use case number 3 in cross-org integrations with Data Cloud. Today, we'll have to talk about how we elevating retail insights, unveiling seamless integrations from POS to CRM with Salesforce Data Cloud, and the real-time analytics. So, in this use case, we'll start with the agenda. So we'll go with what is Salesforce Data Cloud and how Data Cloud works broadly. And the retail sales use case, especially we'd love to talk about the sales use case in this session. A sales manager want to see some high-level transaction overview done by different customers across the POS platform, and they will have to build some KPIs in Sales Cloud to increase their sales in a different sales metrics. And we'll see the scenario what the retail sales team expecting, and then as a solution team we could see what kind of outcome that we design and the data flow along with the solution diagram. And any questions you could connect with us. What is Salesforce Data Cloud? So in our use case once we've been broadly explained what is Salesforce Data Cloud, one of the innovative platform that was recently introduced by Salesforce about a year. Before it was customer 360 audiences, and after a couple of years, it's been Genie, then it's been Data Cloud, which comes with three different versions, three different editions: Data Cloud for core, Data Cloud for marketing, Data Cloud for analytics. And this is one of the massive platform, one of the innovative that brings a lot of potential in-depth, intelligent unification, real-time automations. And believe me, daily, the platform has a capacity to bring 100 billions of records have been processed daily. And it's a great features have been coming release by release. So this is going to be one of the best platform from an industry standpoint to solve a lot of common challenges that what customers have been facing and the data team has been facing out. I'm sure you understand how Data Cloud typically works. Data Cloud has plenty of native connectors which can connect to different systems. On top, it has third-party APIs, SDKs, where we can connect to third-party applications to bring the data into Data Cloud via batch and streaming ingestion APIs. And we do have an enterprise scale MuleSoft, which we can connect into Data Cloud. Upon connecting, we can start the data transformations and then perform some modeling and then design our unified record. We can use this unified audiences further back to perform some segmentations, predictions, and analyzing this data. And we could activate the data to different ad audience platforms, MarTech stack applications. And not only this, we can try to add our data back to different data systems called Snowflake and Databricks via bring your own data, bring your own lake BYOL, and we do have a flexibility to design our AI models inside AWS SageMaker, and we could design the same thing in Google platform, and we can bring the models back to Data Cloud to registry and then perform some great automations, and then we could design our own Einstein models using Gen AI, predictive AI, so whatnot. The platform is fully compliance, full security, and it has a basic uh, capacity of bringing all this data in a procure manner. So let's talk about our use case today. Again, this entire series we're going to talk about the retail industry, and the retail company's sales manager will have to design comprehensive view of the transactions data, and they will have to see the data which has been flowing into POS, and they will have to see the entire sale order transactions inside Sales Cloud. And when they open any one of their customers, they will have to see their sales orders, and they will have to do some in-depth analysis to make more selling through Data Cloud. And they will have to understand, and they will have to have a timeline. They will have to see a timeline component for every customer, and that displays the transaction amounts and details each transaction. To bring the scenario into a live demo, to bring the potential outcome of this as a solution team, we brought the Data Cloud as a platform, and we use the native connectors, data streams, and we seamlessly integrate the model, and we leverage calculated insights. As a result, we got the consolidated data that we are flowing back to CRM, and we showcase the dynamic lightning web component via a real-time query API. And we use flows, and we perform callouts. We empower sales with KPIs for deeper insights into customer behaviors. And the biggest outcome that what we're seeing is a strategic loyalty-based sales approach that brings a great revenue growth from our company standpoint. So this is a solution that we designed. So let's jump into our data model. So the data flow contains, we have a sale order data sits in AWS, and call center data sits in contacts, and the same data that used by sales team as well. And inside the homework, when we're connecting these two systems using native connectors, we design the DMOs for sale order, contact unified, and then we design some segmentations about active customers, loyal customers. And inside Data Clouds, we design some flows, we perform some Epic alerts, and we connect to the connected app and then perform an API call up to the destination now, which is Sales and Service Clouds. So we leverage the query API object parameters, and then whenever any update happens with the data model or calculated insights and any segmentation, then immediately we're going to inject in the query API calling our flow using the data cloud trigger flows, which is recently introduced by Salesforce team. And then we insert the data into custom object, and we use that object to build an LWC component as a timeline view. And then this is how the display of sale order data inside customer 360. Let's get into the data flow, the solution diagram what we have. So the data of sale order has been ingesting into AWS, ingesting from AWS, and sale order data got refreshed. And any once DMO got creating or updating, then we leverage a record trigger flow, a data flow record trigger flow, and we call a flow action, and then we insert the data into destination org, and we're showing transactions data into an LWC as a timeline. And sales managers have been looking into the customer 360 views to get the desired result, and then he can build some KPIs on top of which using standard reports and dashboards. And then he's pretty much happy that he got the results, and then he would use this data for bringing a lot of standard KPIs, and then he would love to put his strategy on sales funnels and then get the more revenue to be out of it. Yeah. So that's the solution. Let's get into our demo. Let's go back to our system of. So here if we look at this, my AWS data, which is it here. So here, if you look at my data currently, so what I've done is I've prepared a file of my POS data. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some data here. I'm going to add some data of this. So I'm just preparing some data for the demo. So 2090 is my record here with my email ID Fanindra, and I'm going to have any dates. I'm trying to update the dates as well. I've saved this data. I'll go and then upload my modified transaction data. I'll upload the data into AWS S3. So once that's done, I'll go back to my data stream, and this data stream where I will have to go and then refresh my data stream with the incremental refresh. So once I refresh my data stream, AWS purchase order data, now I could refresh my data stream. So currently it has been the pending status. Now I can go back and then look into it, how we design flow and how we design. By the time it's been activated, I could showcase how we design the flow, how we design the Apex callout and everything. So here we design a flow. We use the latest record trigger flow, and we leveraged a sale order DLM table, a data model table, and the sale order DLM. And is there any record created or updated? I just configure the trigger. Then immediately we invoking an Apex action. So this Apex action will pass the parameters, input parameters with ship to email, purchase order date, total amount, and sale order status. These four attributes we are sending back to another CRM org. So once we design this flow and we perform a call out using within Apex action, we create an Apex class called data action file flow. So within the Apex class, where you see a callout has been happened directly using query API. So that callout, which has been triggered through, because you need to do a callout, right? So you need an authentication. That authentication has been done through name and credentials. Once authentication has been done, whenever record has been triggered or updated here, immediately inside my sales cloud org. So this is my sales cloud org, a separate sales cloud org altogether. So this sales cloud org, where you can see my home screen about the sales cloud. And here, if you can go to my contacts data, so this is my contacts data, which contains all the data here. So if I try to open my contacts data, so this here, if I open my record of Indra, So these are all the sales order data that has been getting inserting from Data Cloud org to Salesforce CRM org. And you could see the details about the transaction amount, the data that what is being captured here. We'll have to request the team to send email ID, purchase order date, total amount, and sale order status. The same details where you could see here, transaction amount, the date of purchase, and the status. And the email ID, we use our unique ID for updating the data back to our Sales Cloud org. And you could see the timeline component where the sales manager can logging into it, and then they can see all this data which has been flowing into Salesforce. And you could see total 7 transactions has been created so far. And let me check whether the data has been updated or not. Currently, it'll take at least 2 to 3 minutes to update the data into S3 data stream. So meanwhile, I could explain a bit about this is a real time, pure real time. Whenever a data updates in Data Cloud under the DMO or identity resolution or calculated insights or segmentations, then immediately we could leverage our query API to invoke a record trigger flow, and then we could be able to send the real-time data back to Sales Cloud or any other orgs inside Salesforce platform, right? Now I'll have one more option where, so here, if you want to send a real-time update from Data Cloud to any other, let's take an example. If you want to send to another CRM org, okay. So you have a one option would be you can leverage the query API and you could perform a flow data record trigger flow. There's a new action called data record trigger flow where we could invoke an Apex, and inside Apex you could perform a call out and leverage the query API to pass the input data back to your CRM org. And this is one way that you could leverage the real-time transactions flowing from Data Cloud to CRM org. There's another way where you could perform a data actions. So in data actions, in my use case one, we talked about data actions. We send the data from Data Cloud to Marketing Cloud via data actions. So the same thing from Data Cloud to data actions, you could send a data of DMOs or calculated insights back to data actions through your CRM org. So this is also pure real time. So both the scenarios, it works as real time. Either you could leverage the query API or you could leverage the data actions. The only difference is by query API, it will support your DMOs, it will support your segmentations, calculated insights. But for data actions, it only supports DMOs and calculated insights. It won't support the segmentation data in the query API, in the data actions. But it does support some query API. So these are all the two ways where you could get real-time triggering data from Data Cloud to another CRM orgs via data actions and via query API, right? So let's go back and then check it out whether my data stream has been refreshed or not. My data stream has been success. So here, the data that what we updated is 2090. I can go back and then refresh my customer 360 profile as a sale manager. And here I could see the data will come from transactions, my 2080, the data has been processed here, the 2080. And I could just refresh, and then by using this query APIs via record trigger flow, so you could see the total transaction amount has been calculated, sum of all this, and then you could see the loyalty status you can calculate it as well. So with this, you could design some KPIs inside Sales Cloud to analyze the data of the customers, and then you could just implement some more uh, strategies behind this, and then you could able to increase your sales ROI as well. So that's all for our today's use case, and we can look into your use case number 4. Thank you so much for joining with us. Any questions, you could connect with us on LinkedIn and Twitter, and alternatively, you could write an email to us, connect@valueofid.com. And any questions as well, we can upload this session to the YouTube, and you can put your comments to the YouTube, and we will happy to answer those questions immediately. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening us. Thank you.